and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. You could view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there. So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. Like they care about.
Breaking news that's about to change everything you thought you knew about Shedeur Sanders' future. The young and electrifying quarterback has just dropped a bombshell statement that's sending shockwaves through the entire football world. For weeks, rumors have been swirling like a tornado around his future, with speculation reaching fever pitch about a potential move to the CFL. But here's what nobody saw coming. Sanders has just stepped forward to obliterate every single rumor with one decisive announcement. Despite being on Toronto's radar and despite the media circus suggesting the CFL was practically a done deal, Shedeur Sanders has now confirmed something that's going to make his haters absolutely lose their minds. He's staying right where he is, and the way he shut down these rumors? Pure genius. The tables haven't just turned, they've been completely flipped, and what happens next is going to surprise even his biggest supporters. You're about to witness one of the most masterful responses to media speculation in recent football history. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just frustrated by the constant rumors, he was strategic about how he handled them. The talks about him potentially leaving for a better offer in Canada weren't just overshadowing his dedication to the NFL, they were threatening to define his entire narrative. But here's where Sanders showed his true character. Instead of letting the speculation control the conversation, he took control himself. With the kind of conviction that separates champions from pretenders, he didn't just reject the notion of heading north, he reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to staying in the NFL with such authority that it left no room for doubt. But this isn't just about staying put. This is about a young quarterback making a statement about his priorities, his values, and his vision for his career. What you're about to discover is how Sanders turned what could have been a career-damaging distraction into a defining moment that actually strengthened his position. We'll break down exactly how the CFL tried to use his name for their own agenda, why his response was so brilliant, and what this means for his future in Cleveland. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this decision might be the smartest career move Sanders has ever made. Here's where things get really interesting, and this is something most people completely missed in all the media coverage. The CFL wasn't just casually interested in Shedeur Sanders, they were playing a much deeper game, and Sanders saw right through it. Recently, Sporting News made waves by reporting that Sanders might be on the radar of several Canadian teams, with the Toronto Argonauts leading the charge if Cleveland ever decided to let him go. On the surface, this looked like genuine interest from a league eager to bring in fresh talent to elevate their profile. But here's what the media didn't tell you, and this is crucial to understanding why Sanders' response was so brilliant. The CFL was clearly working to boost their business and visibility, and they were strategically using Shedeur Sanders' name as their vehicle to make that happen. Think about it. What better way to generate buzz and media attention than to attach your league to one of the most talked about young quarterbacks in football? This wasn't just about recruiting talent, this was about marketing genius. Just last Wednesday, the CFL released their negotiation list, and as expected, Toronto had Sanders on their radar. But here's where it gets even more revealing. CFL's Johnston, who had started his role in the spring, outlined the league's true intentions in a statement that basically gave away their entire strategy. He said, "We are focused on giving fans and media more opportunities to connect with our product in entertaining and meaningful ways." Notice that language, connect with our product. This wasn't about Sanders at all. He continued, "By making the full negotiation list public, fans now have visibility into who their favorite team's next star could be, sparking discussion and debate and providing insight into how CFL rosters are built." There it is, the smoking gun. This move was designed to spark discussion and debate. It was about generating content, creating storylines, and getting people talking about the CFL. Sanders recognized this immediately. He understood that his name was being used as a marketing tool, and he wasn't having any of it. While the financial offers and the chance to be a marquee name in Canada might have seemed appealing to some players, Sanders saw through the facade. This potential move wouldn't have aligned with his core values as a dedicated and loyal player who's focused on building something meaningful rather than just chasing headlines. The brilliance of Sanders' response wasn't just in saying no, it was in recognizing that he was being used and refusing to play along with someone else's marketing strategy. He understood that his brand and his future were worth more than being a promotional tool for a league trying to boost their visibility. This level of strategic thinking from such a young player? That's the kind of decision-making that separates future stars from players who get lost in the noise. Now here's where Shedeur Sanders showed exactly why he's destined for greatness, and this response is going to be studied by sports agents and players for years to come. When the rumors reached their peak and everyone was speculating about his potential move to the CFL, Sanders didn't just issue a generic statement. He delivered a masterclass in controlling your own narrative. There were serious speculations that Sanders might consider the CFL as a way to escape what some were calling quarterback drama at Cleveland. The media was painting a picture of a frustrated young player looking for an exit strategy, ready to jump ship for guaranteed playing time and a bigger role in Canada. But those rumors have been not just put to rest, they've been completely obliterated by Sanders himself. Shedeur stepped forward and announced with crystal clarity, he is not going to the CFL. But it wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. His statement carried the kind of conviction that immediately shifted the entire conversation. He made his intentions so clear that there was no room for misinterpretation, no wiggle room for continued speculation, and no opportunity for the media to twist his words. Here's what makes this response so brilliant. Sanders didn't just shut down the CFL rumors, he reframed the entire narrative around his commitment to excellence rather than his frustration with his current situation. Instead of focusing on what he wasn't getting in Cleveland, he emphasized what he was building toward. He made it clear that he's here to stay in the NFL, not because he has no other options, but because that's where his vision for his career lies. The timing of this statement was perfect. While it's true that no NFL team seems to be actively pursuing his services right now, Sanders flipped that potential weakness into a strength. He essentially said, I don't need other teams pursuing me because I'm committed to making it work where I am. That's the mindset of a champion. If Cleveland were to let him go, it would have opened the door for the CFL to make their move, with teams like the Argonauts potentially jumping at the chance to sign a rising star like Sanders. But with his public statement, he removed that possibility entirely. He took control of his own destiny and made it clear that the CFL simply isn't in his future. But here's the most impressive part. Sanders made this statement not from a position of desperation or frustration, but from a position of strength and clarity about his goals. He didn't burn any bridges, didn't criticize anyone, and didn't create any drama. He simply stated his position with such authority that it ended the conversation entirely. Unless circumstances dramatically change, and Sanders has made it clear they won't, the CFL chapter of his story is closed. He's written his own ending to that speculation, and he did it in a way that actually enhanced his reputation rather than diminished it. That's the mark of a player who understands not just the game of football but the game of building a lasting career. This is where Shedeur Sanders truly separates himself from other young quarterbacks, and what you're about to learn will completely change how you view his character and potential. Sanders has made it crystal clear multiple times that he is genuinely happy to compete at Cleveland, and his approach to this competition reveals the mindset of a future superstar. Here's what's absolutely remarkable. Whether he becomes the undisputed starting quarterback or not doesn't affect his decision to stay with the Browns. Think about that for a moment. In an era where players are constantly looking for guaranteed starting positions and immediate gratification, Sanders is embracing uncertainty and competition. That's not just professional, that's the mentality of someone who believes in their ability to earn whatever they want through hard work. Sanders' approach to his team and training has been nothing short of exceptional, and the details of how he's handled this situation will blow your mind. Even when he wasn't getting first-team reps, which would frustrate most young quarterbacks to the point of demanding trades or creating locker room drama, Sanders didn't show even a hint of frustration or dissatisfaction. Instead, he did something that coaches dream about. He focused on making every single opportunity count. Throughout OTAs and mini camps, Sanders remained completely committed. He wasn't just showing up, he was working harder than players who were getting more opportunities. He was always preparing for his moment, no matter how limited his reps were. This isn't just about being a good teammate, this is about understanding the long game and having the emotional intelligence to see beyond immediate circumstances. Sanders kept his focus and stayed disciplined, embodying a mindset that he articulated perfectly. You've got to understand the situation you're in. Whether you're getting reps or not, you can take it negatively, or you can use it to push yourself harder and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. But here's the part that really shows his maturity. You could view things as you not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when is my time to get out there? So there's no excuses, because when you get out there and nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. They care about results. This philosophy is absolutely brilliant because it shows Sanders understands something that many veteran players never figure out. Preparation and opportunity are two different things, but they're both completely under your control. You can't control when opportunities come, but you can control how ready you are when they do. Now there's almost certainty that Sanders will be the starting quarterback, whether at the beginning of the season or at some point during it. And here's why his approach was so smart. When that moment comes, he'll be more prepared than any quarterback who spent their time complaining about not getting enough reps. He turned a potentially frustrating situation into the ultimate preparation period, and that's exactly the kind of strategic thinking that creates championship-level players. Here's where the story gets even more compelling, and this endorsement is going to give you chills. Herm Edwards, a man who has known Shedeur Sanders since childhood and has seen countless quarterbacks come and go in his decades in football, just weighed in with a statement that's sending shockwaves through the NFL community. Edwards didn't just offer casual praise, he made a declaration that carries serious weight in football circles. He stated with absolute conviction that Sanders is destined to become Cleveland's quarterback of the future. Coming from Edwards, a respected figure who has coached at the highest levels and has an eye for talent that's been proven over decades, this isn't just an opinion, it's a prediction based on years of observation and expertise. But here's what makes Edwards' endorsement so powerful. He's not just talking about Sanders' physical abilities. Edwards sees something deeper, something that sets Sanders apart from other quarterbacks in ways that go beyond arm strength or mobility. He recognizes Sanders' natural talent, but more importantly, he sees his exceptional leadership qualities and his ability to remain calm under pressure. Edwards believes that Sanders has a bright future ahead and is poised to take on a prominent role in Cleveland's plans, but his reasoning goes deeper than most analysts. He's watched Sanders handle adversity, seen how he responds to competition, and observed his work ethic when nobody was watching. That's the kind of comprehensive evaluation that carries real weight. And here's the thing, Herm Edwards is absolutely right, because Shedeur Sanders is all about that grind, and it's clear he's not slowing down anytime soon. Even during the off-season, when many players are taking time off or going through the motions, Sanders has been putting in serious work that's catching everyone's attention. Recently, he was spotted in Miami, and what he was doing there tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He wasn't just maintaining his fitness or going through basic drills, he was preparing for what could be the biggest challenge of his career, competing in the four-way quarterback battle for the starting job. The energy around Sanders right now is absolutely electric. The stakes couldn't be higher, and instead of being intimidated by the pressure, Sanders is embracing it completely. He's not backing down from the competition, he's leaning into it with everything he's got. With training camps right around the corner, this is the moment where legends are made, and Sanders is showing that he's ready to rise to the occasion and make his mark. The spotlight is on him brighter than ever before, and instead of shrinking from it, he's embracing it with a confidence that's infectious. This isn't just about winning a starting position anymore, This is about a young quarterback announcing his arrival as a serious force in the NFL. Edwards saw this coming, and now everyone else is starting to see it too. What happened at that training facility in Miami is going to become legendary, and the details of Sanders' performance there will show you exactly why he's generating so much buzz throughout the NFL. This wasn't just another off-season workout, this was a statement session that had everyone in attendance talking. At the training facility in Miami, Shedeur Sanders didn't just show up, he completely dominated every aspect of the session. From the moment he stepped onto the field, it was clear that something special was happening. His movements weren't just sharp, they were surgical in their precision. Every step, every drop back, every release was executed with the kind of technical perfection that coaches spend years trying to develop in their quarterbacks. But it was his throws that really stole the show. We're not talking about just accurate passes, we're talking about throws that were absolutely immaculate. Each pass demonstrated a perfect blend of precision, power, and control that had veteran coaches shaking their heads in amazement. The ball placement was so precise that receivers barely had to adjust their routes. The velocity was perfect for each situation, touch passes that floated perfectly into receivers' hands and laser throws that cut through tight windows with authority. However, what really set this session apart wasn't just the physical mechanics, it was Sanders' mindset that was on full display. He was focused in a way that transcended normal preparation. You could see it in his eyes, in his body language, in the way he approached each drill. This wasn't just practice for him, this was preparation for war. He was confident without being cocky, ready without being anxious, and completely dialed in like never before. Every single rep he took was treated like it mattered, because in his mind, it did matter. There were no throwaway passes, no casual moments, no letting up even for a second. It was almost as if Sanders already knows he's destined to be the starting quarterback, and he was using this session to prove to himself that he's ready for that responsibility. But here's what really impressed everyone watching. Sanders wasn't taking anything for granted. Despite his obvious talent and the growing confidence in his abilities, he was giving everything he had to every single throw, every single drill, every single moment. He understands that this isn't just about securing a starting spot, it's about proving that he can win for his fans, his team, and most importantly, for himself. The intensity he brought to that Miami session was infectious. Other players started elevating their games just to keep up with the standard he was setting. Coaches were taking notes not just on his technique, but on his approach to preparation. This is the kind of session that becomes part of a player's legend, the kind of workout that people reference years later when they talk about when they first knew a player was special. What Sanders demonstrated in Miami wasn't just readiness for the upcoming season, it was a preview of the kind of quarterback he's going to become. The combination of physical talent, mental preparation, and competitive drive that he displayed is exactly what championship teams are built around. So here's where we stand, and this conclusion is going to tie everything together in a way that shows you exactly why Shedeur Sanders just made one of the smartest moves of his career. Sanders has firmly and definitively put an end to all the rumors surrounding his potential move to the CFL, but more importantly, he's done it in a way that actually strengthened his position in the NFL. Despite all the buzz surrounding his name with the Toronto Argonauts and other Canadian teams reportedly eyeing him as their next big signing, Sanders made it crystal clear that he's not heading to Canada. His recent statement didn't just shut down speculation, it completely reframed the conversation around his commitment and his vision for his future. But here's what makes this story so compelling. Even when speculations were raised, particularly when it seemed that Cleveland might not offer him enough playing time, Sanders' response has been nothing short of resilient and strategic. Rather than seeking an escape route through the CFL like many young players might have done, he embraced the challenge of fighting for his spot in Cleveland. This shows a level of maturity and long-term thinking that's rare in today's instant gratification sports culture. He kept his head down, put in the work, and remained disciplined through all the noise, proving that he isn't one to back down from adversity. Instead, he uses adversity as fuel to become better. That Miami training session we discussed? That's the direct result of this mindset, turning pressure into preparation, turning speculation into motivation. Everyone now believes that Sanders is here to stay in the NFL, and his future looks more promising than ever. With Herm Edwards publicly declaring him as Cleveland's quarterback of the future and his recent dedication during the offseason catching everyone's attention, it's clear that Sanders has positioned himself as a rising star who's ready to break out. The four-way quarterback competition for the starting role may still be ongoing, but Sanders has already shown the grit, talent, and mentality necessary to not just claim that spot, but to excel in it. He's turned what could have been a distraction into a defining moment that showcased his character and his commitment to excellence. So while the CFL may have seen Sanders as a potential game changer for their league, it's clear that his ambitions remain firmly rooted in the NFL, where he's poised to continue his journey toward greatness. With his determination, focus, and strategic thinking, there's no doubt that Sanders is ready to make his mark and prove that he's not going anywhere. He's here to stay, and the NFL is about to find out exactly what that means. What do you all think about these CFL claims surrounding Shedeur Sanders? Do you believe the speculation was ever a real possibility, or was it just media buzz designed to generate clicks and controversy? With Sanders' recent statement making it crystal clear that he's not heading to Canada, how do you think this impacts his future in the NFL and his standing with Cleveland's coaching staff? Do you think he made the right choice by staying loyal to Cleveland and embracing the competition, or should he have seriously considered the CFL's offer for guaranteed playing time? Here's what I'm really curious about. With all the excitement building around his potential and that incredible training session in Miami, do you think Sanders is ready to take on the starting quarterback role right now, or does he need more development time? And based on everything we've covered, how do you see his future unfolding in the NFL over the next few seasons? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your predictions about Sanders' career trajectory and whether you think this decision will be looked back on as a turning point. Are you Team Sanders, or do you think he should have explored all his options? Let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay updated on all the latest developments in Sanders' journey to NFL stardom.